So, AI video generation just took this massive, massive leap forward. And honestly, the entire animation industry is kind of holding its breath. Thanks to OpenAI's new model, Sora, a very real, very scary question is bubbling up. Is this the end of animation as we know it? Today, we're going to dig into that question and figure out what this crazy fast rise in AI really means for the future. And look, the stakes for animators could not be higher. This quote right here, it just perfectly captures the fear. For so many artists, this isn't just some fancy new tool, it's an actual existential threat to their careers, to their art, to their whole livelihood. So, what kicked off this latest round of panic? This, an AI-generated SpongeBob clip. And yeah, sure, if you look really closely, you can see the background kind of warping and SpongeBob's arm does this weird detach thing for a second, but just at a glance, it totally nails the look of a 3D SpongeBob movie. The movement is simple, but it's shockingly believable, and this is what has thrown the entire debate into a frenzy. Okay, to really get why everyone's so freaked out, we have to look at just how insanely fast this technology has evolved. I mean, it feels like it went from being an internet joke to a genuine professional threat almost overnight. It's almost funny to think about, but just a couple of years ago, this was what AI art looked like. Blurry, abstract, just nightmares. You remember Will Smith eating spaghetti, right? It became a meme specifically because of how horrifying it was. Back then, you would look at this and think, yeah, there is no way this tech is ever going to create anything good. So we went from those blurry messes to a world where suddenly AI art was just everywhere online. And now, today, we've got models like Sora that can create video and 3D animation that, well, it's not perfect, but you can't deny it's convincing. The leap forward hasn't just been big, it's been exponential. And that right there is the key. It still doesn't have the soul or the intention that a human artist brings to the table, but the technology is now bordering on scarily good. It's not quite at the point of taking over everyone's jobs yet, but man, it feels like it's getting dangerously close. Which brings us right to the heart of this whole conflict. Is AI just another tool in the artist's toolbox, something to help them make cool stuff? Or is it something else entirely, their total replacement? That distinction is absolutely critical. This whole debate really breaks down into two very different uses for AI. On one side, you have automation. A great example is the tech used to create all the different character noses in Into the Spider-Verse. It enhances what humans are doing. But on the other side, you have generation. And that's the Sora stuff, which aims to create animation from scratch, potentially cutting the human out of the loop completely. So let's be super clear about what automation is. It's all about using technology to do the grunt work, the boring, repetitive tasks like automated lip syncing or rendering. This frees up the human artists to focus on the stuff that matters, the performance, the storytelling, the art. It's a support system. Generation, though, that's a whole different animal. This is about creating entire scenes, entire animations, just from a text prompt. The goal isn't necessarily to help an artist, it's to be the artist. This is the technology that's making everyone whisper the word replacement. This fear of new tech in movies isn't totally new. If we look back in history, we can actually find a moment of tech panic that feels surprisingly similar to what's happening right now. Let's hop on the time machine and go back to 1982. The movie TRON comes out, and it's the first film to use computer-generated imagery, or CGI, in a really big way. And its reception? Well, the film was actually disqualified from the Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects because the Academy literally felt it was cheating with computers. But here's the key difference. The goals of these two technologies are worlds apart. The CGI in TRON was all about pushing creative boundaries, telling stories you couldn't tell before, and it still required a massive amount of human labor. With generative AI, the sales pitch is often about increasing speed and lowering costs by removing human labor. And the criticism reflects that, right? It's shifted from cheating to things like art theft and dehumanization. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. TRON CGI was a tool to help people tell their stories. The problem with generative AI isn't the technology itself, it's the intent. It's the fact that it's being sold as a way to take the humanity out of what is, at its core, a human process. So this goes way beyond a simple tech debate. This is an ethical battle, an existential one. It's forcing the entire animation industry, and frankly us, the audience, to face some really tough questions about copyright, creativity, and the soul of art itself. The arguments against this kind of AI are pretty powerful. First, you have the straight-up issue of art theft. These models are trained on artists' work without their permission, which, by the way, is why huge companies like Disney and Universal are suing. Then there's the whole dehumanization thing, taking the human touch out of a human art form. And finally, there's this very real fear of the internet just getting flooded with endless, low-quality, soulless slop content. And this all leads to a really uncomfortable question. Right now, a lot of people are against AI content because, well, it often looks kind of weird and janky. It has that uncanny valley vibe. But what happens when it doesn't? When AI art gets so good that it's indistinguishable from human art? Is the average person still going to care where it came from? Because we can't ignore the money side of this. Big studios are businesses. Their bottom line is always going to be about creating content faster and cheaper. And if a technology comes along that promises to do just that, the pressure to use it is going to be enormous, no matter what artists have to say about it. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. If, or maybe a better word is when, AI becomes so good that its output looks exactly like the work of a human artist, what's the incentive for a company to keep employing hundreds or even thousands of animators? It's a chilling question, and it's the one that animators all over the world are being forced to ask themselves right now.